This is a bit weird. So I've been around on the internet since the early 90s, 1992. Kind of ages me a little bit. Although so did my beard. You'll see that in a bit. I suppose the question in my head is, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it now? And why am I recording this particular video? So the whole point of this video really is to introduce myself. I've been messing around with the internet. I've been messing around with website design, coding, graphic design, animation, motion graphics, all that kind of stuff for decades now. And I've always played and toyed with the idea of having some sort of YouTube channel. I was going to say some sort of channel, and I inserted YouTube because that's where this is now. So really, this video is about introducing myself to you, and I'm not expecting anybody to watch this at the moment, if at all, in fact. But ultimately, that's what this video is for. It's to say, this is me, my background, this is why I'm doing this. Anyway, yeah, so I've been doing internet since 92, did graphic design as a degree before that, and yeah. Since then, I ended up doing software development, e-learning design, a lot of video editing and production. I did a sort of film and TV course years ago in Newcastle, and yeah, so all of that's kind of came together in the sort of early 90s, and I started doing CD-ROM work and DVD-ROM work, then web, then web apps, business stuff. So I worked for IBM for a while, and then worked on e-learning. And while I was working in e-learning, I ended up being pulled into what I kind of lovingly refer to as the hell that is marketing. So I was in marketing for about 20 years. I ended up as a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, for a private equity-based business in London. And the end of that time, I kind of came to the conclusion that I never really wanted to be a marketer. I just ended up in it by accident. So, yeah, it's kind of where I was. The last couple of years, I've been focusing on building out my business. Now, because of my kind of fairly, and I'm not alone in this, I know, but because of my fairly eclectic background, I can turn my hand to a lot of things. So I can develop, I can code. I'm not an amazing coder. I can design. I'm not an amazing designer. I know what good design looks like. I know what good code looks like. I play games and have done since the 80s, really. I've written my own games. You know, back in the 80s when I was at college, I was part of a team that wrote a sort of a multi-user dungeon. So, you know, I've done that. And I've always been an early adopter until more recently, and more recently because essentially I'm sort of run out of money a little bit. But that's what comes from starting your own business, right? And that early adoption means that I've got a lot of tech. I mean, the mess you see behind me, and this is a mess at the moment for various reasons that I won't go into. It does get tidied every now and then it ends up in a bit of a mess. I won't even show you the desk because this is chaos. But, you know, stuff like this is floating around with that on the back. And I've got, you know, new lights. I've got a Home Assistant set up on a Raspberry Pi back there with cables going everywhere. I've got the whole house automated. I've got, you know, I get into the tech and I really dig into it and spend time sort of learning how to do it. And then I move on to the next thing. When I set up the business, part of what I thought was actually might be quite useful to share some of that information. Now, there's an awful lot of people on YouTube that do Home Assistant, home automation, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of feel as though I don't really want to step into that marketplace because I don't want to, not because I don't want to tread on people's toes, but because there's people out there doing better stuff than I could do, in my view. And so I don't. And this is what I've always done. I've always kind of gone into this space and thought, yeah, but I'm not that good at that. So maybe I'll just leave that to the people who are good at it. And I think, to be honest, that's just a, you know, I don't want to be judged type thing. So, yeah, so here I am. So my name is Andre. I'm here on this channel. If you Google Arctic Flea, you will find me. There's a story about that, but I won't tell you that yet. Welcome to my channel. Obviously, if you've watched this, like and subscribe. If you've watched this, it probably means that you've come to this because you've watched something else on my channel. I'm assuming that, and that's assuming, of course, that I put any more content out, which after this one I might not. Let's see. All right. Anyway, have a good one.